Deuteronomy 7 and 6. And of course, this is a pillar scripture, for thou art a holy people unto the Most High, thy power. The Lord, the Most High, thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And of course, once again, we know that's the Most High, because the Lord is capital. It's talking about the Most High. And when it says thy God after the Most High, it's Allahayim, the power. It pertaining to Israel and who we are. When you go into this word people, for thou art a holy people, the word is Yam, meaning right, nation, people, persons, members of one people, compatriots, countrymen, kinsmen, kindred, kinsmen, a people, specifically a tribe, as those of Israel, figuratively a flock. And this is going to say the same thing, kinsmen, men of the same race or family, one related by blood. So the nation of Israel is a bloodline, it's a people, or as we like to say, it's a seed line. It's based off the seed of your father. Call law Yahweh Shem Yahushua Bashem Akakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Craig Millstone. Peace and salutations to you sincere brothers out there, your hopeful elect brothers out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. I just want to go in because a lot of people are saying that what we're teaching is religion, and we don't teach religion. We teach heritage. We teach our people who we are as kinsmen. Because if you just look at it from a historical point of view, the people over us, these Edomites, these Caucasians, they still have the records of who they are, where they come from, who their forefathers are. The Mormons have a lot of those records. In fact, let me put that up. And I just pulled it up. But if you look that up, man, these Mormons, they track their genealogy. And they have a lot of our genealogy as well that they're not willing to give, because Mormons is a sect of Edomite supremacy, white supremacy. Real quick, Mormons trace their family trees to find the names of ancestors who died without learning about the restored Mormon gospel bullshit, so that these relatives from past generations can be baptized by proxy in the temple, which is more bullshit. Yeah, genealogy is a way to save more souls and strengthen the eternal family unit. Right, whatever. So yeah, these Mormons though, they're famous for keeping track of where they come from, their lineage, and who they are. And they, like I said, with this whole ancestry.com thing, in a lot of cases they have our ancestry as well. And I've had family members to try to contact me on ancestry.com. And once again, a lot of that goes back to, it might be the government or it might be Mormons, because I believe they purchased that information. And here's another one, Exodus 16 and 31. In the house of Israel, yeah, that's important, called the name thereof Manna, right? Then it's going to talk about what the manna was like, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made of honey. But the part I'm trying to emphasize is house, because people don't necessarily understand that. House. Yeah, because I'm jumping around again, Salakia. These Edomites, you just look up the Rothschilds, for example. Here it is, they got, and you know they got it, some kind of picture or something showing everybody's name, but they got all their people. They know who everybody is, everybody else who knows everybody is, and they use these connections to control things. They use these connections to link up with each other and run shit. And our people, the Israelites, we don't do that. We're in. Well, first off, this is Babylon. It's the land of confusion. Everything is out of order. But our people have been conditioned so long to go against each other, when really the thing that links us all together is that we come from the same bloodline. We come from the same bloodline. A lot of these people in these Edomite organizations, they come from the same bloodline. Like I said, they link up and they do what they do. And they run shit. It's the family of the wicked, the devil. But us, we are what? The house of Israel, the Bayath. Bayath. What is a house? This is the one that's talking about household, family. Those belonging to the same household. Family of descendants as organized body. Descendants of an organized body. We're not, right now, we're not a house. We're not an organized body. Because you have, spiritually, we're not on the same wavelength. Like these Edomites, like I was saying, they're on the same wavelength. They make a covenant with death, with Satan, so they can run the world. Spiritually, we're not in the same wavelength with our power. All of Israel is not. And the scriptures say what? Can two walk together lest ye be agreed? So the ones of us who are Israelites, we have to consider our people who are not waking up. We have to consider them as heathens until they do wake up, that they're Israelites. But like I said, family of descendants as organized body. We're not an organized body. Our household is in chaos right now, and it's gonna take the Lord to set it back on the proper course. This is more on house, because house is very important. As you grow and you develop, you're supposed to be raised up in your father's house. And even that small detail, raised up in your father's house, we don't even do that. We're not even raised. A lot of us aren't even raised up in our father's house. We're raised up in our mother's house. But you're supposed to be raised up in your father's house with your mother. Of course, she teaches you the basics. Then you get to a certain age, your father is supposed to have you. You're supposed to learn the trade, whether it be from your father or whether it be somebody who your father knows to teach you the trade to raise you up. You're supposed to have at a certain age, which going back in the ancient world, like we always say, we were more mature. So by the age of 12, you were supposed to be a man. You were supposed to understand all of the things that men are supposed to understand. Whereas this world, at the age of 12, you're still sitting up watching cartoons, bullshit. In the ancient world, it was like I said, it was organized. There was an end goal, and everybody knew what that goal was. But going back to house, because that's everything. The house of David. That's what we're building now. Bayah Dawadah, the house of David, meaning family, ancestors, descendants, especially of noble. The house of Israel is noble. In the Hebrew, that's the purest form of the word, Bayath. Yeah, because this kind of goes off. This goes into English, and once the word translates from Hebrew, it starts to lose its meaning, starts to lose its spirit, because ultimately it was the Most High who created this language when He breathed it into Adam. He breathed it into all his the first people placed on this earth, and then from there it changed during the Tower of Babel. The Most High cast the people of the other nations into confusion along with their languages. Heritage, that's another one. Heritage, that which may be inherited. Heir, inheritance. Ancestral estate, heirloom. Yep. Conditional estate transmitted from ancestors. And when you look that up, heirs, what pops up? Edomites and the other nations. Heirs. You don't see any of us. You don't see any black, Native American, and Latino people. You see Edomites and other nations as heirs. Because that's something we're going away from. We're not heirs in this kingdom. In this kingdom, we're slaves. And once again, man, our people don't want to accept that. Is Israel a homeborn slave? Is he a servant? And we are. We're not meant to be, but we are. No, you don't want to inherit the kingdom. Israelites, we know they don't want to inherit the kingdom. They don't want that. But moving on, that's what we're preaching for. That's what we're preaching and teaching for. That's our purpose. That's our goal. We're trying to raise up the house of David to get that inheritance. To get that inheritance. And the inheritance is what? The earth. Rulership over the earth. And all the things in it. And like I said, unfortunately, our people, they don't want to do that. They call what we're doing religion, which this is James 1:27. As a matter of fact, started 1:26. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion and undefiled before the Most High the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Let's see what that word means. Religious.
Strong's G 2357. Threiskas.
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 Right, threiskas. And then the G is Greek. Greek 2357. Says to tremble. Now this one, 23. Wait a minute.
Strong's G 2356. Threiskaya.
Threiskaya. So these two are different. These two are different. If any man seem to be religious, which that means to fear the Most High, to fear God. Yep, fear and the worship in the Most High. And bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart. This man's religious worship, his discipline, religious discipline is in vain. Threiskaya. So like I said, once you go into the Greek, it changes stuff. Definitions change, meanings change. It's talking about discipline though. His discipline is in vain. Because religion, state of life bound by monastic views. Monastic means strict, specific views. Succinct views. Also conduct indicating a belief in a divine power, piety, devotion, religious community, respect for what is sacred. Right, that's basically what it is. Respect for what is sacred. Which religion really goes back to religare, to bind fast, to bind. That's your discipline. That's something that binds you. You're bound to do X, Y, Z. bond between humans and gods. That's right. So this is talking about yeah, if it's but if any man seem to have fear of the Most High and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, uh this man's binding to the Most High is vain. Pure religion, which and the undefiled before the Most High, is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from this world. Now, the particular religions of this world that bind you, um, excuse me, the particular, excuse me, the particular religions of this world, they do bind you to different gods, but these particular gods, false deities. You could say, you could say that we're religion, we're bound by faith to the Most High, but that's our heritage. That's what we're supposed to do. That's a connection. That's something that was given to us. So it's not the same. It's not the same. We show a certain discipline. Like I said, we're bound to the Most High, but that's really not a title for us. That's something that's used by this world to manipulate, because you're bound to do whatever these different people are telling you to do. You're bound to it. They tell you, look, you gotta paint your face and worship Shiva in one of these religions, you gotta do that. You're bound to do it. If they tell you you gotta meditate for 2 hours or some shit, you're bound to do that. With us, we were given promises by the Most High, and that's where our discipline comes from. So you can say that it's a religion, but really it's a heritage. It's for the house of Israel. It's for the nation. It's for the kinsmen. It's a family thing. It's different. No. Hey, but that's all I got. Just wanted to bring that out. Carlo Yabashim Al Shai. Shalom, shalom. If you're an Israelite and you're waking up, you're coming across these different videos, stay with it, and keep your head up and know what's going on in the world, because we're coming to some times where destruction is coming near. So hey, now is the time for you to make the decision. And we don't have 20, 30 years, anything like that. Now is the time where the enemy is coming for us. And that's why we're pushing this truth so hard. That's why we're trying to wake up the house of David, that house. Trying to bring that house back in order. With that being said, shalom.